The hallway was loud, filled with slamming lockers and bursts of laughter. Yet in the middle of all that chaos, Emma Parker moved like a shadow. She kept her head down, clutching her books close to her chest as if they were armor. Her silence made her a target, and she knew it. Every day, whispers followed her, and cruel laughter stung her ears. But nothing prepared her for what happened that afternoon. As Emma reached her locker, 3 of the school's notorious troublemakers cornered her. Tyler, the ringleader, smirked, his friends snickering behind him. He had been tormenting Emma for months, testing her patience, feeding off her quietness. "Hey, Parker," he sneered, leaning against her locker door. "What's with the long face? You too good to say hi to people." Emma said nothing. She simply lowered her gaze, focusing on the lock in front of her. She wanted to disappear, to melt into the background like she always did. But Tyler wasn't satisfied. In one quick, vicious motion, he reached forward, grabbed the collar of her shirt, and tore it straight down the seam. The fabric ripped loudly, echoing down the hallway. Gasps filled the air as students turned to watch. Emma froze, her breath caught in her throat. Her cheeks burned with humiliation as laughter erupted from the crowd. "A look, we made the little mouse squeak," one of Tyler's friends mocked. For a moment, Emma's world spun. Every instinct told her to shrink, to hide, to let it pass like she always had. But something deep inside her snapped that day. What no one in that hallway knew was that Emma's father had raised her differently. Quiet though she was, she had spent years training in Judo since she was 8. Her father had always told her, "You don't need to fight, Emma. But if someone tries to crush your spirit, remember, you're stronger than they think." Her eyes lifted slowly, and for the first time, she met Tyler's smirk with steady calm. "You've gone too far," she said softly. Before Tyler could laugh, Emma moved. In one fluid motion, she grabbed his arm, shifted her weight, and sent him flying over her shoulder with a perfect judo throw. The thud of his body slamming against the floor silenced the hallway instantly. His friends stumbled back, eyes wide with shock. Tyler groaned, clutching his back, the wind knocked out of him. "What the? How did you?" he stammered, trying to get up, but Emma's stance told him not to. His friends, panicked but angry, rushed toward her. The crowd gasped again, expecting disaster. But Emma didn't flinch. The first one lunged, and she sidestepped, pulling him off balance and flipping him onto his back. The second swung wildly, and with a quick pivot, she trapped his arm and sent him sprawling against the lockers. In seconds, all 3 bullies were on the ground, groaning in disbelief. The hallway was dead silent. Dozens of eyes stared at Emma, who stood tall, her torn shirt still hanging but her presence stronger than ever. She wasn't the quiet shadow anymore. Tyler struggled to sit up, his bravado gone. We're sorry," he muttered, his voice trembling. His friends nodded quickly, their faces pale with fear and shame. Emma looked at them, her breathing steady. "I don't want your apology," she said firmly. "I want you to remember that people you think are weak aren't as powerless as you imagine. Leave me, and everyone else alone." The crowd erupted in cheers, some students clapping, others shouting Emma's name. For the first time in years, she felt the weight of silence lift off her shoulders. She wasn't invisible anymore. But the story didn't end there. That night, Tyler sat at home, his pride shattered. His parents had been called to school, and the humiliation burned worse than the bruises on his back. Yet, strangely, he couldn't get Emma's words out of his mind. The next day, he didn't approach her with cruelty. Instead, he hesitated by her locker, nervously scratching his head. "Hey, Parker," he mumbled. "Look, I know I don't deserve you even listening to me. But I wanted to say I was wrong. You didn't deserve any of it." Emma studied him quietly. She saw no smugness in his face anymore, only regret. "You'll have to prove that by how you treat people from now on," She replied calmly. Not just me, everyone. It wasn't instant forgiveness, but it was the beginning of change. Over the weeks that followed, Tyler kept his distance from bullying. In time, he even started standing up to others who tried to pick on weaker students. His friends, embarrassed by their downfall, followed suit. Slowly, the school's cruel culture began to shift. Emma never became the loudest voice in the hallway, but she didn't need to. Her quiet strength spoke louder than words ever could. Students who once overlooked her now admired her. Some even found the courage to stand taller themselves, inspired by what they had witnessed. The lesson lingered for everyone who had seen that day. Power isn't in cruelty or numbers. It's in self-respect, discipline, and the courage to rise when others try to break you. And for Emma, the quiet girl who once blended into the shadows, that torn shirt became the day she shed invisibility and proved that strength doesn't always roar. It can whisper and still shake the world.